AjaWilson has definitely been in the headlines these last couple weeks, man, in regards to CaitlinClark news.
CaitlinClark is making the most of her off-season, juggling high-profile speaking engagements and appearances with legends like David Letterman, while also taking some well-deserved time off after a grueling rookie season. However, amidst all the celebrations surrounding Clark, an intriguing pattern has started to emerge, and it all seems to lead back to one name: AjaWilson.
Wilson found herself in a situation involving CaitlinClark again.
After Clark's record-breaking $100,000 virtual speaking fee was made public, a tweet revealing a curious leak from AjaWilson's camp has sparked whispers of jealousy and pettiness. The internet quickly took notice, with fans wondering why Wilson felt the need to insert herself into the conversation once again. Is this a strategic move to keep up with Clark's rising fame, or just another example of Wilson's privilege rubbing people the wrong way? The online buzz is intense, and the comparisons are as harsh as they are amusing.
I don't know what it is, but these women forever hating on CC, dog. It's looking real spooky out there for a bunch of these WNBA stars.
When it comes to making headlines, CaitlinClark does it effortlessly. After a groundbreaking rookie season with the Indiana Fever, where she led the team to their first playoff berth since 2016, Caitlin's star has only risen. But what truly sets her apart is how she's owning the offseason, not with bold declarations or flashy endorsements, but with quiet, impactful moves that showcase her rare combination of talent and character.
Leadership is like how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people. And every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background, they come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tender-hearted, and for me, I probably want to be screamed at. Like, it's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really important.
Clark has transformed her voice into a powerful tool, captivating audiences at corporate events, charity galas, and educational forums. She's not just excelling on the basketball court, she's shaping conversations around leadership, resilience, and health, and she's being well compensated for it. Her $100,000 fee for a 30-minute virtual session has set a new benchmark, earning her more for a half-hour speaking engagement than her entire WNBA rookie salary of approximately $76,500. Here's the surprising part. Despite the steep price, her schedule is packed. From headlining events with business moguls to recently sitting down with David Letterman, Caitlin has become an inspiration far beyond sports. She has seamlessly balanced a whirlwind of appearances with pro-am golf tournaments, community initiatives, and off-season training. Through it all, she remains laser-focused on what truly matters: her health and preparing for the future. "I need a break from basketball," she confessed in recent interviews, a rare but refreshing admission in today's non-stop hustle culture.
Like, basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
Her focus on balance has only increased her appeal. Fans admire Caitlin not just for her talent, but for her humility and perspective. She's living proof that you don't need controversy to attract attention. While Caitlin prefers to let her actions speak for themselves, not everyone has been as silent. Just as she settled into her off-season routine, whispers of a one-sided rivalry began to spread through the WNBA. A series of oddly timed leaks hinted at jealousy and competition. While Caitlin has stayed above the drama, one WNBA star seems determined to pull her into the spotlight. What happens when reigning MVP AjaWilson suddenly enters the narrative with a suspicious leak? Is it just a coincidence, or something more deliberate? Let's dive into the drama.
AjaWilson is currently back in the headlines after news surfaced. She's charging $100,000 for speaking events.
CaitlinClark's offseason has been a display of poise and professionalism, effortlessly balancing speaking engagements, golf appearances, and much-needed rest. Meanwhile, AjaWilson has found herself in the spotlight, not for her achievements, but due to a peculiar leak about her speaking fee. A viral tweet claimed that Wilson charges an eye-popping $110,000 for 30-minute virtual appearances, igniting an immediate debate online. At first glance, this seemed like a typical celebrity flex, but the timing couldn't have been more suspicious. The leak came just days after Clark's $100,000 speaking fee became public. While Clark's appearances have highlighted her marketability and discipline, Wilson's alleged fee was met with skepticism, and let's be honest, a few raised eyebrows.
Talking about, she's charging $100K for speaking events, and fans is like, Shaggy? Since when? And you only doing this because of Caitlin.
Social media users quickly picked up on the pattern. Why did this leak come right after Clark's headlines? One fan quipped, "It's like AjaWilson has an alarm set for whenever CaitlinClark is mentioned." The underlying tone was unmistakable. Fans saw this as yet another attempt to shift the spotlight back onto Wilson.
AjaWilson is the queen of the delusion. She's absolutely the queen of the delusion.
But wait, there's more. Remember when both Wilson and Clark turned down offers from Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 basketball league? Clark's decision was well documented, citing her focus on self-care after a grueling year and her preference for staying off the court during the off-season. However, Wilson's camp quickly leaked that her offer was even bigger than Clark's, despite her reasons being much more vague. One fan put it perfectly, "Nobody asked Aja. You could have just said no and kept it moving."
Crazy because literally nobody asked, and sources close to AjaWilson decided to answer anyway.
This isn't just about speaking fees or Unrivaled, it's a pattern. Wilson's Nike shoe launch was delayed, and her releases for other athletes sparked rumors of preferential treatment. Her "winning isn't for everyone" ad became a meme after the Aces' crushing playoff loss. Fans are increasingly seeing her moves as calculated efforts to stay relevant in a landscape dominated by Clark's humility and authenticity. CaitlinClark has said nothing about Wilson, never hinted at a rivalry, and continues to stay focused on her own path. Yet Wilson's persistent attempts to one-up her are painting a very different picture. Fans are noticing, and they're making their opinions heard loud and clear. And we appreciate you. Now, back to the action.
You'll be Josh. Don't piss me off. Do not piss me off.
If the leak was meant to boost Wilson's standing, it only highlighted something fans have been grumbling about for years: privilege. While there's no denying Wilson's talent and her accolades speak for themselves, her approach to fame and competition has often sparked mixed reactions. This latest move has only added fuel to the fire. Let's start with the infamous Nike shoe launch. Remember when Wilson's signature line took center stage, reportedly delaying releases for other players? For fans, it wasn't just about the sneakers. It was seen as a symbol of how Wilson's career has been positioned as untouchable. The phrase "privilege on display" trended on X, with one user sarcastically commenting, "When you're Aja, the world waits, even when it doesn't want to."
They signed the woman to build a brand around. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, CaitlinClark. Instead, in the early Clark era, Nike stock has tanked over the span, and the CEO just got ousted. By the way, though Clark got famous around 22, if you want to buy her shoe, you could be waiting until 2026 to 2027.
But the privilege narrative goes beyond just branding. For many, the leaked speaking fee comparison and unrivaled salary were the tipping point. While Clark quietly built her brand through authenticity and performance, Wilson's actions often feel like deliberate attempts to command attention, whether it's warranted or not. As one fan put it, Clark inspires without trying. Wilson tries too hard and misses every time. Perhaps the most significant takeaway is the widening gap in how fans view these two stars. Clark's grounded, team-focused persona continues to win hearts, while Wilson's calculated moves leave fans questioning her motives. As this latest backlash shows, the audience isn't buying it anymore.
She knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point, and also she's good at basketball, but she understands her privilege and pushes her over the top. In a sense, it reminds me a lot of you. And I mean,
speaking of Unrivaled, its debut season was meant to revolutionize women's basketball. However, losing both CaitlinClark and Wilson has left the league scrambling. Built on promises of elite talent and groundbreaking equity stakes, the league's marketing strategy heavily relied on star power. Now, that foundation is starting to crumble.
Throughout the year, WNBA players players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, CaitlinClark.
The roster reveal, initially billed as a spectacle, quickly turned into a glaring disappointment. The empty wildcard slots, meant to tease Clark and Wilson's potential involvement, were seen as desperate attempts to capitalize on their names without any real commitment. Memes flooded social media, mocking Unrivaled for overhyping what it ultimately failed to deliver. One viral post summed it up. You can't call it unrivaled when it's just unmet expectations. For Clark, her decision to reject the league solidified her reputation as a player with clear priorities. She didn't need Unrivaled to boost her brand. Her packed schedule and meteoric rise already spoke for themselves. By walking away, she proved that sometimes less is more. Fans celebrated her choice, with one commenting, "Caitlin didn't just reject the offer, she elevated herself above the noise."
Obviously, they've tried to do everything they could to make the most of the situation. They tried to make the most of CaitlinClark not playing by hinting everything and basically making people think that CaitlinClark was going to play.
AjaWilson's approach, on the other hand, painted a very different picture. While the leak about her alleged higher offer made headlines, it also reinforced ongoing narratives of privilege and opportunism. Fans didn't hesitate to highlight the contrast between the two stars, with one user on X remarking, "Clark's silence speaks volumes. Wilson's leaks just feel loud and unnecessary."
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate. Because that's how I get the best out of my team.
For Unrivaled, the fallout is more than just a PR disaster. It's an existential crisis. Without its two marquee names, the league faces an uphill battle to prove its credibility to both fans and players. Analysts are doubtful about its ability to draw crowds and attention without a cornerstone talent like Clark. Even Angel Reese, one of the league's few remaining headliners, now bears the heavy burden of carrying the league's debut season on her shoulders. As the 2025 season approaches, one thing is clear. The story of CaitlinClark and AjaWilson is about more than just basketball. It's about what it takes to truly win over fans. The dust has settled, for now, and CaitlinClark's decision to gracefully decline Unrivaled has left a lasting impact on fans. It wasn't just what she said, but what she didn't say. She let her actions do the talking, prioritizing her well-being and long-term career over short-term gains. Her humility, focus, and ability to rise above the noise have only solidified her status as a generational figure in women's basketball.
Everybody talks about like the effect that we have on them, but also they have the same effect on us, and I think that's what's really cool about it is to see how much joy it really brings them, and it brings their families, and that one game where they spend 2 hours of their whole entire year has such an impact on their entire childhood, and I think that's really cool to think about.
In contrast, Wilson's leaked narratives have raised more questions than answers. Why did her team feel the need to highlight her offer, especially after Clark's quiet refusal? To many, it appeared more like a play for relevance than a genuine statement. The backlash was swift, with fans calling out what they saw as an unnecessary grab for attention. For Unrivaled, failing to secure its dream stars has been a humbling experience. The league now faces the monumental task of proving its worth without the two names that could have defined its debut season. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Credibility can't be built on hype alone. As we look toward the 2025 WNBA season, the stark contrast between Clark's rise and Wilson's narrative offers valuable lessons about leadership, humility, and the power of authenticity. Clark's trajectory shows that true greatness isn't just about what happens on the court, it's about how you carry yourself off it. While Wilson's story continues to unfold, the public's patience may be wearing thin. Will Wilson course correct, or will the privilege narrative persist?